Hello everyone, it's Sheila back again. Welcome to my channel. Well, it's an afternoon now. It's after 2. I'm knitting my own things now. I've got to remember what stitch, whether it's a knit or a purl stitch on this pattern, because the pattern has garter on where you do so many rows knit and so many rows purl, but they have to fall in the right place for the pattern, where you have like the double rows of garter here, and then there's 3 rows each between that block and that block. There's 3 rows of knit rows in between. You have to make sure you're on the right row for the so that the pattern falls right. I think I'm on this one right. And this row I'm knitting into the one knit stitch, they look like stripes down the stitch here is knitting into. When I come to that stitch, I don't knit the stitch, I knit the stitch below. That's what I have to remember when I'm knitting. I've just pulled some stitches off my needle, put them back on. I'll put that down for a minute. But I have been knitting this little one. This is the next bubble stitch one that I've started. I've done a bit of this morning, and that little join on there, that was the tiny little bit I had left over from the 2 balls of the other cardigan that I did. That was that little bit that was left over, and that's how far it took me on the on there. Well, when I've been doing this one, I didn't follow the pattern to the letter this time, because it told you what to do the rib. This is for a 3 to 4 year old. This is for Helen. It's for her granddaughter, and I think she said her granddaughter was 2.5. Well, the sizes go from 9 to 18 months, I think, and then 18 to 24 months, and then it jumps from 24 months to 3 to 4 year old. So the size below that is no good, so I'm doing the bigger size. Well, it starts off with, it tells you to cast on 89 stitches for this rib. You knit so many rows, like 10 rows, and then the next row you have to decrease 20 stitches across that row to end up with 69 stitches. And I did not like that. Well, I told you so. I moaned all about this on the last video, telling you about it on the other video, and I thought I'm going to do it my way. So that's what I've done. I've just casted on 69 stitches instead of 89 stitches, and it looks much better. You haven't got that wavy wide rib, because the rib is far too wide for the size, and you don't need those extra stitches because this pattern doesn't come out that wide. It sort of gathers in. So anyway, that's what I've done, and that's the way I'm doing it. And this is a King Cole pattern, and I have another King Cole pattern, another one I think I got off Sandra, and where it tells you it has a little picot edge at the bottom of and then at the bottom, and then there's the rib. But it does the same thing on there. It tells you to cast on so many stitches and then decrease on the last row of the rib, and then it goes on to a little lacy pattern. But some of it's plain and some of it's lacy. I thought, oh, you don't need extra stitches like that on there. Well, I never, when I did a little cardigan off that one, but I never followed the pattern. I did it the same as what I've done here. I've done it to my own, used my own judgment, which is much better. So that one will be picking that up again tomorrow morning, because I'll have all day tomorrow, because with my granddaughter being camping, and we've got such lovely weather at the moment. They'll be away for the full holiday weekend, so I won't see them on Sunday, so I'll just be sitting here doing my knitting, what I normally do. And today I suppose you'd call it more happy mail. I had a card here, Happy Easter with love, and it says, To Sheila, love to watch you knit and the stories you sometimes tell. Very clever lady with your patterns you do. From Pat. I'm not sure who Pat is. I know she must be a YouTube one, you know, on YouTube by what she said on here. But if you're watching Pat and you can do it, put a comment on my next video so I'll know it's from you and I can thank you for this card. But I'm thanking you on this video anyway because it's a lovely card. Some lovely flowers on the... I've got a tickle in my throat. It's a lovely card and I would love to thank you for it, but I don't know, I can't recall seeing any comments from anyone called Pat, unless you use a different name, because some people don't use that the proper name. They have a I don't know what you call it, like some name they have underneath that the picture. It's not what that name actually is, unless you're one of them ladies, Pat. But if you can, let me know so I can thank you for this lovely card. That was a nice thought. I didn't think I'd be getting any more happy mail till that card arrived through the door this morning. Like, not today anyway. But I did get another letter as well. This is something else I'm annoyed about. Another rant, you call it. This is from the Cervical Screening Administration Service. I am going to have to be able to get in touch with maybe my GP. I could get in touch with them because it says, a few months ago we invited you for cervical screening, previously called a smear test. A record show you have not yet attended. If you have had screening in recent weeks, please ignore this letter. And then further down the letter it says, we invite women aged 25 to 64 registered with a GP. Well, I'm almost 76. I'm going to have to get in touch with my GP and get this taken off there, because this is not the first letter I've had from them. They don't seem to know how old I am. And 64, I wish. I wouldn't mind being 64 again. But you get letters like that and you don't take any notice of them because it doesn't apply to me, but they still keep sending them. Anyway, that's putting that down, and I'm doing my little bit of knitting here on my own. As you can see, I'm a little bit further on than I was yesterday. I've got a few extra rows done. I'm not sure when I'm doing this one. I'm putting the border on it instead of knitting the button bands, and I'm not sure whether just to leave it as an edge to edge or put buttonholes when I do. This is the side that the buttons will go on if I'm doing buttons on. Always do that side first so I know exactly where to put the buttonholes on there. Doesn't matter what the pattern says, what side the pattern tells you to do. I do the side that doesn't have the buttonholes in, so I know exactly where to put the buttonholes when I do this sort of thing. Like. But I'm not sure whether to make it an edge to edge or buttons on, but I'll make my mind up when I come to do the other part of the front. But I'm happy I'm getting on with that a little bit more than what I had been doing lately. But I have also been doing some crochet as well. This is it's going to be a table centre cloth. This is for Dagry, she lives in the United States. So I have the last bubble cardigan I did was for Dagry, and a sweater I'm almost finished. Little short sleeve sweater. I've got it over on the other chair over there. I'm not getting up to get it off to show you. But I'm almost finished that, and I'll be sending them off. So I want to get this finished as well, to send this off to her as well. And as you can see, it's just like the petals that I do on some of my coasters. I've done 1, 2, 3 rows of the petals, and then done an extra row, which I don't usually do on the coasters. This would make the coasters too big. But then I started adding different designs, which I'm going to carry on doing. I'm just making it up as I go along. It's my own design, this. It's not anything anybody else has done. So I'm just doing what I can of this. I normally do them, when I do these ones, I do them about 12-inch diameter. But I had asked Daggery what exactly. She sent me a picture in an email of the kind of thing she wanted, but told me to do my own design. But I couldn't tell what size it was from just looking at the picture, so I'm waiting for her to get back to me. But I know she does go bike riding, cycle, you know, cycle, not motorbike, cycle riding up in the mountains at the weekends. And that's probably where she is, so I'll probably not hear from her till she comes back from, and with being a holiday weekend. I think they have the Easter holiday in the United States the same as we do, I'm not sure. So she'll probably not be back till Tuesday anyway. So anyway, I'm doing what I can of this until I get to about 12 inches, and I'll wait to see whether she wants it any bigger than that. And this is just some wool, some cotton I had left over from something I made with, this is Mariner's mercerized cotton. And I like this one because it's it has sort of sheen to it. It's not like dull like the other, you know, the other cotton. I like this one. There are some nice colours in it. I might get some more. And it's only £2.50 for a 100-gram ball of this cotton. It's very reasonable, Mariner's cotton now. So that's something I have to do. And I think, I'm not absolutely certain, I think the proper name for these are called mandala, or mandala, something like that. But that's just another word for circle, mandala. But that's what they're called anyway. I'm just doing from different stripes, you know, changing the colours every so often to give it a nice effect. So that's that little bit when I get round to it. But in the meantime, I'm doing my own. And it's been a nice quiet day today. There's only been there's a little 2-year-old girl next door. My neighbour's got a 2-year-old girl, and I think a little boy about 7 or 8. I could hear some shouting and screaming in the garden earlier, and I think the little girl was screaming at the little boy for something. I think it stopped, or you would have heard it because my windows are open, but I think she was giving him what for from the sound of it, like. But apart from that, it's been lovely and quiet, and it's quite a nice day. But you know, usually when I get weather like this, I like to get out in my garden and do things, but I just could not be bothered today. I'm just not in the mood for gardening. So I thought I'm just going to sit down and do what I can of my knitting. I'll do gardening when I feel like it. It's just not in the mood. But I did give my house a good vacuum this morning. I usually only do it about once a week. The whole house, give it a good vacuum, because it's only me in this house. So there's only me that... But the vacuum didn't seem to be picking up very well. So I turned it over on the floor to have a look, and I'm not kidding you, there was more hair around that brush than what's on my head. That's the only trouble when you've got long hair. It ends up wrapped around the vacuum, around the brush of the vacuum. So I had to cut all that off, and it's picking up great now after that. It was just really thick. I could have packed one of those little soft toys with the hair that I cut off it. Like, no wonder my hair's getting thinner. It's all disappearing around the vacuum. But anyway, that's my little bit for today, just to keep my videos going for everybody that likes to listen to me. I get on my own nerves sometimes, you know, and I talk to myself when I'm at home, and I tell myself what I'm going to do. Oh, make yourself a cup of tea, Sheila, or something like that, you know. That when you're by yourself, that's what you tend to do, things like that. When I used to have a dog years ago, and that was okay, because I had the dog to talk to, you know. You didn't think you were talking to yourself, you had the dog. The dog used to listen too. But I don't want another dog at my age. It's a little bit too tiring. When I had my dog, my husband was alive, so there was always 2 of us here. So if one of us went out, there was always one to look after the dog, and I don't want to to have to do that, to leave a dog by itself now if I want to go out anywhere. Like. So that's my little bit for now. So thumbs up and subscribe, and I'll catch you all another time. So bye for now.